Liverpool versus everybody. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Late night vid here. Football is back. Football is back. And listen, what better place to start than with Sadio Mane? It's happened. It's happened. So all the whining and complaining and the worrying and the fear that he's not all in and that Real Madrid or Bayern Munich can come snapping him up could be put on hold for now. I say that because it's not like these situations haven't happened before and then we lose players. I do think there's some changes going on with the higher ups in the club. You can see what happened with Barcelona in the future. I believe if they want to play it from us, they have to pay some crazy amount of money. I can't remember what it is. So I think we can put aside this whole idea that Liverpool's a selling club for now. But you just never know. But yes, it's nice. Mainly for me, it's nice because I don't want to continue to see and hear all of the doubt and the worry and the nervousness of Mane and his possibility of not signing. I titled it the way I titled it because he's still getting less than Salah, and while I don't think it's really a necessary debate, it does intrigue me and it does leave me curious to know why isn't he on the same amount as what Salah is getting. Um, so just an idea to throw out there. Anybody who's in or comes in and watch this video later, let me know what you think. Is there anything to that? At the end of the day, obviously Mane was pleased with what the package was that was offered. He took it. We can move on. I look to see Mane really get back into that form of how he was in the first few games. And Klopp talked about it in the press conference about somehow Mane not really being at a level where he always trusts this world class ability that he has within him. And so, Klopp, the team, the club in general, doing what they have to do what they can to kind of reassure him of that. But I think there's a lot of truth to what Klopp said. And I think once Mane really fully realizes that, then I think he'll just be pretty much incapable of being stopped. Whether it's a one-on-one in general, just him and his passing, him missing chances, not missing chances. I think once you see Mane at a level where he's completely just out there enjoying himself, not that he's not doing that now, but to the extreme, to the highest level, and not really concerned about thinking maybe too much about, oh, if I don't pass this, somebody's gonna say something. What just happened in Senegal? My own fans were booing me. I shed a few tears. I was a little sad. In general, if he really captures this, holds on to this ability that he has, and makes the best of it, then I think again he'll be virtually unstoppable. So I look forward to seeing Mane have a really good game, and then just a stretch of games coming up because we're going to need him as well as everyone else for this kind of serious, as they say in England, stretch of games that come thick and fast. So moving on to Watford, I watched a bit of the Watford Southampton game, first half. Pretty crazy game weather-wise, and somewhat on the pitch as well. And listen, you can talk about form and how they didn't do well against Southampton, didn't do well against teams like Newcastle, things of that nature. Watford are a good team. And I think in any moment or at any time, if we're thinking of this team as an easy fixture, maybe like a Brighton, although that didn't really end up to look so easy. But, one of the lower teams, then you're sadly mistaken. Watford have a really good squad. And we know history tells us that we've had some troubles with them. At their place, at our place. I don't think I need to remind anyone about Troy Deeney pretty much punking Skirtle, Sacco. We're ways away from what we were defensively then. But again, they have a good team. Mane says Anfield Lark. Yes, they have a good team. And some of the guys that stood out for me, and I want to talk about this a little bit in depth because they have some interesting players on their team. But we know Decore. We know Troy Deeney. We know how physical he can be. But Dale LaFeo to me reminds me a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot, slightly of Shaqiri at Stoke. Shaqiri had gone to all these great teams in Milan, Bayern, kind of looked at it as like a cast-off or, an international reject, if you will, and he's come to lowly Stoke. Dale LaFeo is a guy who has bags of talent, but up here he's not right. He's not right. A lot of times you can see in that game in Southampton, I've seen it in his time in the Premier League, it's all about him. He tried to do a trick here. It doesn't go off. He'll do the same thing. Not, okay. And a part of that you like because you want a player who's very confident. But you want a player who's confident but also smart. common sense smart. Not like he's a dummy or he's incredibly intelligent, but just common sense smart. Common sense meaning if you've got a guy wide open to square a ball to, you got a man on you and the goalkeeper. That's 2 against 1 on you, and that's 1 against 1 for your teammate. Not to square that ball, and just as a situation, continually, it's just not a good sign for me. And it really shows why he probably a guy like him couldn't really cut it in Spain at a club like Barcelona. Just couldn't do it. Again, lots of talent, and I say like Shaqiri because he's prone to having one of these amazing goals, whether it be a goal where he doesn't move, beats a man. He's got some pace too, a set piece, a penalty, whatever. He has that in his locker. But far too often, for me, he doesn't live up to whatever that potential that you can see, whatever these gifts that you can see that he's God given. And I noticed that a lot in the Southampton game. Isaac Success, a really, really fantastic player, very, very strong, very, very confident, very, very pacey, fast. Of course, Capu in the midfield with Decore. They got a tough, tough team. Holobas at the fullback, I think he has leading the league with assists from fullbacks, or at least up there in the conversation. So, got a tough team. Definitely won't be easy. But watching them against the Southampton team, they are a team that you can get at. You can get at them. And a team like Liverpool, we should have enough to get at them. But at the same time, I would not be surprised in the slightest that this game is tighter than a lot of people may think. Because Watford can really, really, really get at you. They really, really can get at you. And so, same with Holobas. Oh, I'm sorry, Pereira. He played at Juventus. Thank you, Anfield Lark. He played at Juventus, and you can see he's not there anymore. And this is not an indictment on him or Deulofeu. They're both great players. You don't become at a great club like Juventus, or definitely not Barcelona, if you don't have something about you. But you can see they didn't last. And they're still both relatively young players. So Watford have guys all over the pitch, and they can hurt you. I think getting up on Watford early with this improved defense is really going to be something that helps us. That last season, that first game of the season, 3-3, getting up early, you're getting excited, and we allowed them to get back into the game. Credit to them for fighting back into the game and taking advantage of our mistakes. But again, I say it every time I come on here. Our defense is so much better this season that most games I'm going to, I'm confident just on that. And yes, I get on here at halftime or post match and I'm disappointed in the performance of the offense sometimes. But at the end of the day, I have nothing at all to complain about because Liverpool are doing the business right now. I don't care if it doesn't always look good. I don't care that we're not scoring 6-7 goals a game. We're doing it the way that fits us right now, because in a season like this, let me answer for Lark. What's up, bro? I think Salah has been rated more because he's had a higher success rate in terms of chance creation and finishing. Yeah. And let's be honest, it's about the goals he scored, which I get it. That's where Mane can improve. Yeah, for sure. I think Mane can improve in a lot of different ways. So can Salah. None of our players are finished world-class articles, in my opinion. I know a lot of people just say, oh, Van Dijk, pump your brakes. I'll get to that in a minute. But we have a bunch of guys who are hungry and bags of talent and world-class gifts within them. But I think a lot of them still have a ways to go. That's just my humble opinion. Watford are decent and have surprised me so far this season. Pereira, Decore are standout players for them. Yeah, they have a good squad. They got a really, really strong squad. And I think you'll see over time, what also has helped them is that they've kept the manager for a little bit longer this time. And I think that's really helped them. But you'll see a lot of their players start to ship off slowly but surely. And then you'll see them also, they obviously they're very good at recruiting and finding these guys that maybe no other team really wants, but they feel like they can kind of nurture and work with and get something good out of them. So, love Mane though. Yeah, no, and that's the thing. No, anytime I speak about players, I love Mane just like the next man. We all do in this household. But it's almost like your child, and they're incredibly intelligent or smart or athletic or whatever, but they don't really always necessarily apply themselves. And I think that's the case with Mane. And we talk about guys like Trent when he messes up and things like that. He's so young. All these guys are really young for the most part, and so they're going to be growing pains. They're going to be teething situations, and they're going to be spurts where they're just not on it, and that's okay. And it's okay for us to come here and talk about it. But what I was saying was, in a game like this, in a season like this, where any other season Liverpool will probably be the clear favorite. It just happens yet again. We've had these seasons before where City, it just seems to be for most people this amazing kind of Goliath of a team with that manager and a lot of those players. So I think that's why you're seeing so much of a difference with this team. And I've seen people say we parked the bus, so whatever you want to title it or call it, I don't mind it because Klopp has realized that listen, if we're gonna fight with this team City, we're gonna have to go literally blow for blow, and that means staying undefeated for as long as they do, pretty much, if not longer. I mean, we have to keep the pace. We have to keep the pace with them, and we have to. This is really going to be a trying and testy period of the season right now. This holiday period, where I think it's what 10 games in 5 weeks or something crazy like that, maybe even more serious than that. But a lot of tough games and really a chance for us to really see what this team is made of. We've gotten through this first stretch, amazing. International breaks are over for some time. Maybe don't pick back up until February. That might be wrong, but we're going about this season the way we need to be. And that's really what it comes down to. Yes, again, like I said, we're going to have disappointments in certain parts of games. And not even because, for me, it's not even about, oh, you're playing a Fulham, why aren't you beating them 5-0? It's more of you're Liverpool, why are you squandering chances? Why are you looking sloppy? Why are you giving the ball away? It seems this feeling that they're still in games when they shouldn't be. So that's always my issue. It's not really about not scoring. Yes, I'm disappointed in not taking chances, and the result of taking those chances is more goals. So I don't want to contradict myself. My point is, I want us to win games however we need to win them. But when we have chances to score goals, we need to just take them. Yes, you can kind of depend on the defense, ride the luck a little bit, but it's a long season. At some point, the defense will have an off game. It's going to happen. I don't really foresee it happening anytime soon. But it can be any game that happened. It can be this game. It can be the PSG game in the middle of the week. But I'm really proud of how far this team has come. And again, it just seems like every game is a big game. It really does. And most of them have pretty much come to that, besides maybe a few. So it's a big game. I'm not going to look any forward to the Champions League necessarily and dissect any of that. I just really want to focus on the Premier League and just really give shout out to this team and what Klopp is doing and how through all of the noise of we're not as good as we are. We've been frustrating on the eye. Um, our forward guys aren't scoring. Firmino's in a slump. Whatever the case may be, we still keep coming up trumps. And we've had some things go against us as well. Not as an excuse, but that happens. But that's just fact. And so in football, ride those waves. Even when things go against you, find ways to get results. And bar the Arsenal game, usually when we go up and get a lead, with this defense, you feel like we can keep that lead. I mean, you really can. And again, it's football. You never know what can happen. There's so many different moments, so many different issues, troubles, frustrations throughout a football match for the manager, for the club, for the players, whatever. And you have to just get through those. You got to just fight through those, power through them, and do your best to get the result, which is a win at the end of the day. If you can't win it, obviously draw the game. So we've been fortunate. We've had our share of fortune. We've had our share of things that have gone against us as well. And for Lark, what do you think that is our best? What do you think is our best lineup information? That's a tough one, Lark. But I think it's 4-2-3-1. I really do. I know it gets tricky there because you're trying to figure out how many guys you can fit, and somebody's going to feel like it's unfair, or will feel it's unfair maybe for a Genie to be sitting instead of a Naby, or Fabinho for Henderson, whatever the case may be. But I think 4-2-3-1 gets the best out of us. And if we can find out a way to be consistently good defensively with that, then I think we'll be even better for it. Spurs run a similar formation. They've been running it much longer, so they're a little more comfortable with it. But they seem to do pretty well defensively in that setup, depending on who they have in certain roles. But I prefer the 4-2-3-1, honestly. The 4-3-3 tends to be a bit too flat for me. And there's just not a lot of creativity, in my opinion. You would think it would be because there's more players in that midfield, ideally. So I don't know. I'm not really sure. But I'm going to go into the formation now of what I think it should be. I won't really touch too much on what I think Klopp is going to do because that kind of scares me, what I think he might do. But for me, I think Trent comes back in, fullback. Which players, though, right this moment? Yeah, I'd say, you mean like back to front? Or just, okay, 4-2-3-1, I'd say our best is Trent, Gomez, Van Dijk, of course, Robinson, Allison, and goal, obviously. I still got to see more of Naby. That's why I say it's hard to answer. I got to see more of Naby in that. But without Naby, okay, Genie, Fab, you got to put Shaq in the game. Firmino, Salah, and Mane. To me, that's the best lineup. It is very attacking, especially top heavy, but it's also solid going back. I think, especially if you're going to be having Firmino kind of in that middle spot between the midfield and the forwards. I know he didn't particularly like it, but he might have to suck it up and get used to it, and find a way to be a part of games more than he has been here lately. Which that probably feels a little bit harsh because he is doing a lot of work that's gone unnoticed in my opinion. But he's clearly not the Firmino that we know he can be, and the full package. And I think that'll come. I'm not really concerned personally. So, but I think that's the best lineup for me. And so yeah, that back four for me. I know a lot of people are calling for Gomez at the fullback maybe, and then Lovren and Van Dijk with Robertson. I don't think that should be. Um, but yeah, and so I think that's my back four. I want to see Naby very. Klopp kind of kept things close to his chest as he usually does about that. Um, and I said I was going to go what I think he's going to do. So what I would like to see, although it might be risky, is Naby and Fab. It probably won't happen again. We haven't seen Naby in that 4-2-3-1 enough, if at all. Um, so it probably won't be that. If it can't be Naby, I think it's got to be Genie and Fab. And then again, the same four. Shaq. I think there's a shout for Sturridge to come in. But then I think with that, I think we really would be a little bit more concerned defensively because, again, I think Firmino does a little bit more work in that midfield or is capable of doing more work in that midfield defensively, harassing guys more than Sturridge. Not that he can't do it, but he just doesn't do it as effectively, I should say. All due respect to Sturridge. So it'll be an interesting lineup. I don't think the lineup will be anywhere near what a lot of us probably assume it'll be. If you look on different channels of what their prediction will be, I doubt it'll be exactly what anybody is picking. But we'll see. We'll see. The great thing is that we don't have any injuries from the international break, which is a rare thing, and I'm almost pinching myself and asking myself if I'm dreaming that that's actually a fact. So I'm really pleased about that. I want to end it with Virgil van Dijk. There's been a lot of talk about him being top 5 in the world class now. I think I know most of you guys' opinion. I had a conversation with Dahir, who I wanted to have on here, so sorry about that. Dahir, the good brother Dahir, was supposed to be on here, but I could get my connection working, so hopefully we'll get him on sooner than later. If you're on, man, shout out to Dahir. But I want to talk about this because if you watch the channel, you know that I just try to be real and honest. And sometimes my opinions are probably minority opinions or maybe solely my opinion, whatever. But I think Van Dijk is a very good fullback, a very good center back. I don't think he's top 5. I know a lot of people would say that's crazy. I don't think he's at that level just yet. For me, and I know a lot of people are going to say I'm crazy or say that this is part of his style because I think Dahir said that, and I've heard other people say the same thing. I would never call him lazy, but this whole thing we like about him and being relaxed and calm and whatever I heard, Rolls Royce and all these things, that to me sometimes ends up being a problem. I'm not going to list the many ways that he's made mistakes and almost caused the situations or whatever. But what I will say is that I want to see a bit more from him in a consistent period of time. 3-4 years in this defense around the same kind of players with this team, see what we can accomplish. I want to see him get more goals defensively. I know he's a defender, but I think as a complete defensive back in this modern game, you have to be able to score goals. To me, Sergio Ramos is at a higher level than Van Dijk. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. As far as winning games, winning trophies, and I get it. He's been with Southampton. He's been with Celtic. I get all that. But to me, Sergio Ramos is a level above Van Dijk. Koulibaly is a level above Van Dijk. Godin. Now, when people start saying Azpilicueta or Vertonghen or anything like that, no. But those guys, I think you got to put. I think you have to put. What's the French guy from Real Madrid? I can't think of his name right now. Varane. Got to put Varane in there. And I think Umtiti is probably somewhere in there and abouts. But I think Van Dijk is right there. I think he's right there. I think he's just there. He's just on the tipping point. I think it's not like he has far to go to achieve world-class status, in my opinion. He's just about there. But for me, he's a bit too calm in moments for me. And I think being that laxed in certain situations can really harm you. Can really harm you, harm your team, harm your chances, and things of that nature. So that's my opinion. Of course, I love Van Dijk, and I think him being in the team has clearly been kind of a cornerstone of what we have done defensively, how we've totally turned that around. But we can't make it, in my opinion, I shouldn't say we can't. I can't say that he's changed Lovren, or he's changed Gomez, or he's changed Robert. I think the team in general with Klopp's input, because this year Klopp has clearly made defense just as important, if not more important, than going forward. Maybe that's not. Maybe I didn't say that right, but I guess what I should say is we've been focusing more on closing games off, being more solid, being more dependent dependent on having a strong defense. And it starts with getting that goalkeeper, in my opinion, in the offseason. People will say, oh, Van Dijk is a very, very key point in that, obviously. But we can't sleep on Gomez. The progress Gomez has made after the crazy injury being out that long, a young player that at that part in his life, playing for a big club, could easily just kind of fade away. Fade away, never to be back again, going off to lower league teams or different countries or whatever, which different countries might not have been the worst thing in Germany maybe, but the progress he has made has been amazing. And there's been times this season, probably vice versa for both ways, but I feel like more that Gomez has had to cover for Van Dijk. Um, and that's okay. That happens in a good duo, a good tandem of center backs. Um, but I've never been a guy that would say something like, "Oh, a Pep has made, Raheem Sterling a better player," or Klopp has made a certain player better. I don't think that's it. I think when managers come in with different scenarios, different philosophies, I think once players are trained in that way, you see different things about them. I think Sadio Mane was always a great player and always had worlds of talent within him. But he was at Southampton. All due respect to them, but there wasn't really a progressive situation going on there. He wasn't really playing amongst other very, very talented players that can actually, achieve great things. So it's just never been my thing to say somebody's made a player or, a particular player has made other guys better. I think obviously his positivity, his skill set, his confidence in general probably has rubbed off. Um, but I think all those players are great in their own way. And maybe for a different team, they may not be. But I think collectively, just how we play defensive now has collectively just made our defensive unit that much better. So I'm very confident in the defense. Again, it kind of comes back to full circle on that, and really, really excited about the game. I'm going to do a score prediction with the goal scorers because I just think that's a fun thing to do. I haven't been doing it in a while because I feel like, I don't know, these days I'm kind of just happy with getting the W, and I don't really care what the score is as long as we have more points than the other team. So, but in this game, really, really excited to see us get back. I spoke about Watford and how decent a squad they are, if not above decent. And still and yet, I'm going to go with a 2-0. I'm going to go with a 2-0. I think Watford will give us trouble. I think Watford will have chances. I think they will put pressure on our defense. Same time, I just think our defense will outwork them and really, really, again, step up to the plate and really, really just show that this first block of games is just not a fluke. It's not is Liverpool better defensively? And I think by and large, people are saying, yeah, they're really good. I think in most people's minds, even some Liverpool fans, is that there's going to be a game where they remind us of Sevilla in the Champions League, or a game against, for example, Bournemouth, where we clearly look firm in control of a game, and then just get knocked. You know what I mean? PSG almost did it to us in the Champions League, so we needed that Firmino goal at the end of the game with the one eye and all that. So yeah, 2-0, and I think the goal scorers will be Mane and Firmino. I think Firmino's. It's important that he gets back on the board, not for myself, not for anything else, but for him, for his confidence, for his and the ability to be in this 4-2-3-1, assuming we play that. I think once he gets a goal, or it feels like he's a part of what we do, an assist, a hockey assist, whatever the case may be, I think you'll see a bit more confidence within him. Look, he's more or less played kind of this role in Germany, but I think at Liverpool he's been playing a particular role for so long. To be back that deep now, with Salah taking it more of an attacking or forward kind of striker kind of position, and then Shaqiri on the right, Mane on the left. I think it's affected him slightly. I don't think it's something that's going to be a huge issue. And I think obviously Klopp is monitoring that and hoping that he's fine. But Firmino didn't look good against Uruguay. I think that's who they played in the international game. So that's who I think the goal scorers would be: Firmino and Mane. And I think, again, Shaqiri is going to start, and I think he will be very, very important and very, very neutral and vital to what we do in that game tomorrow. I think every time he plays, he's been that guy. He's been that guy that gave us that other element of surprise, because people know that front three. But to add in a guy like Shaqiri to be able to do that in a system and a formation, I think it's just amazing for us. And I think the more he plays, the more confidence he gets, the better I think you'll see a lot of our attacking play, just because it's one added guy that people have to worry about, who's just as pacey as Mane and Salah. So, and looks to be doing a bit more work tracking back defensively as well. So, yeah, just it's taking forever to get here. It's nice that it fell on a Thanksgiving break. Got to see family, got to eat some good food. Still got a ton of leftovers, so happy about that. And just happy to see Liverpool back playing again against a side that will give us some competition. That's for sure. That's for sure. But yeah, that's my score prediction: 2-0, Mane and Firmino. And let's hope by halftime we're in good spirits and maybe we have that score or not more. But we'll see. Watford will be difficult, and there are some players that we really need to be keeping focus on. But Watford know going to a game like this, we've got just as many, if not more, players to be focused on. So could be a real slugfest. Could be a real slugfest, and I really look forward to it. And hope to be seeing you guys really soon. Thanks for your time, whoever stayed in with me on the chat today. It's been a little while, um, but yeah, it's back to football, baby. So see y'all soon.